In 1870, a new amusement park is built with many rides and attractions that are very popular. However, the new amusement park struggles in the Great Depression, and by 1951, the resort is in very poor condition, and its premier roller coaster, the Cyclone, is demolished, leaving the park without a roller coaster. Today, we're going to look at how Cedar Point came up from the ashes to build itself into the great amusement park that it is today. As the Cyclone coaster was demolished, 3 new rides were built in its place: the Laugh in the Dark, the Rocket Ships, and the Loop-a-Plane. But these were nothing compared to the modifications that would be made to the park in 1959. In 1959, the park made additions that would cost over $1,200,000, which today would be worth over $11 million. These additions included repainting the hotels, adding new admission gates, and just general money spent to refresh Cedar Point, and the park's first ever roller coaster since the Cyclone was built. This coaster would be Wild Mouse. Wild Mouse was a BA Schiff large Wild Mouse. It had 1,300 feet of track and lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds. The ride utilized a design with steel track on wooden supports, which was very interesting for the time. The ride was very important for Cedar Point, but it actually wasn't the most popular ride at the park in 1959. The park would also get a new kind of ride, which was a monorail. The monorail was a suspended monorail that had been moved from a park in Akron, where it was tested but never opened to the public. This monorail was the first of its kind in America, and it was very popular and successful for the park. The 1959 additions also included remodelings for Hotel Breakers, the Coliseum, and the Grand Pavilion. The latter of the two were also repainted. The Crystal Rock maintenance shop, the bathhouses, and the old powerhouse were all demolished, and a new $50,000 structure that contained bathhouses, a boiler house, and a maintenance shop was built in their place. In the 1960s, with the idea of pay-one-price season passes becoming common, Cedar Point announced that they had plans to transform the park into a Disneyland. However, those plans would fall through. In 1963, Cedar Point would open the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. This is a railroad train ride that would transport passengers from the middle of the park all the way to the back. This was a popular ride, and it still exists today. And in 1964, Cedar Point would build a roller coaster that at the time was a typical wooden coaster. However, this wooden coaster still exists at Cedar Point today and is known as Blue Streak. It was named after the local high school sports team, the Sandusky Blue Streaks. This would be a 78-foot-high PTC wooden coaster that would travel at 40 miles per hour and of 2,558 feet of track. It was a popular ride for the park and still exists today as the park's oldest surviving roller coaster. In 1969, Cedar Point would open the Cedar Creek Mine Ride. This was an Aero mine train coaster and is currently the second oldest roller coaster at Cedar Point as it still exists. Then, the following year, the Centennial Theater would open. It was named in honor of Cedar Point's 100th anniversary. This theater would be used for stage shows and other entertainment to attract more and more people to the park. These rebuilding efforts made the park very successful. The park made a lot of money, and in 1976, Cedar Point would open a roller coaster that would change the peninsula's attraction legacy forever. Former park general manager John Hildebrandt would say, "It was the fifth coaster, which opened in 1976, that changed everything forever at Cedar Point." What would this new record-breaking coaster be? Find out in the next episode. Thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, as that helps me out quite a bit to the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment stating what you learned from the video, and leave a subscribe if you enjoy great coaster content just like this. Also, I now have an Etsy store where I sell posters of different roller coasters. If these posters look cool to you, you can buy all of them at the link in the description. As always, see you in the next video. ZZ Coasters, signing off.